Hey guys, what's going on? Janevers here. Welcome back to the channel. So today, Mojang pushed a custom Java edition to help test the new combat mechanics that they're looking to implement in a future version of the game. I'm going to preface this by saying that these are not final, these are just a test version. So a lot of mechanics will be changed, and whenever those changes occur, I will cover them here on the channel. But let's begin by reading the Reddit post, and then when I go down to the actual changes, I'm going to go in-game and I'm going to demonstrate them for you guys, and we're going to talk about them and my opinion about them. So Jeff begins this with, the combat mechanics in Java Edition have been a controversial topic ever since the 1.9 update, which is correct. We want the mechanics to be the same across all editions, but simply porting Java to Bedrock or vice versa is not taking us forward. We want to find a system that is flexible and works well across all input devices. So he begins by listing out the issues with Java Edition and Bedrock. For Java Edition, it's too slow for PvP, which is not exciting enough, which I personally don't agree with. I think that Java Edition is more exciting than Bedrock. And damage per second is too low to beat regenerating items. That is a good point. I completely agree. I think that that should be more balanced, but you can balance that by changing the regenerate and not changing combat itself. And too hard to understand for new players. I personally don't agree with that either. I think that 1.9 is way more difficult to understand than 1.8, but regardless, that's Jeb's opinion. I can't argue with that necessarily, it's just my opinion on top of his. And then he goes and says, main issues with Bedrock. Tedious on controller, weapons are very similar, and armor is not balanced, which I'm not aware too much of the Bedrock Edition combat, so I'm not able to comment on those in particular. Anyway, so he lists out a bunch of changes here, which we're going to go through in-game, but you can also see that there's a way to download this, and the way to download this is to click on this zip file right here, and basically just extract it into your versions folder and select the version. I'm going to leave a link to this zip file in the description so you guys who are watching this video can go download it. But yeah, we're going to hop in-game, or we're going to check out all the changes that they made. But keep in mind that these changes are not final, so let's take a look. Alright guys, so we are currently running a Minecraft 1.14 world as indicated by the Minecraft 1.14 village, but we are also running the Minecraft 1.14 combat test version. So right over here we have a bunch of test subjects, and we're going to go right down Jeb's list, and we're going to talk about all of the different things that were changed in this version of combat. Now the first thing is that attacks basically happen a lot faster. So if I attack an entity, you can see that I can damage it really quick. Like I can literally damage this pig and kill it in like a second. Like this is way faster than what I was seeing in 1.9 PvP. Like the attacks are just rapid, right? This is more like 1.7 than it is like 1.9 in that regard, which is awesome. So I got a sword here so you can see the new cooldown timers. So you can see boom, and then boom, 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 boom. So basically the hurt time is decreased massively. So you can see that with the sword, you can like rapidly kill these entities. Like you can literally kill them super fast. Like they just die instantly. It's like 1.7 combat, which is really nice. In fact, it's kind of refreshing compared to the really slow and sluggish version of 1.9. So I do like the fact that they basically made it so you can attack players faster, but I'm not 100% sure how this is going to affect PvP. But as you guys know, I don't think a server exists for this version of combat, but when we get later versions, we can probably test more PvP. But you can see there. Jeb also lists out the attacks only happen when fully charged, even if you spam click, which is interesting. I'm not 100% sure what I was just observing there. I'm pretty sure that is basically the fact that, I think what I was observing there was the fact that they changed the damage cooldown to be much lower, but when you spam click, it still only attacks when you're fully charged. So you can like jitter click, but your max attacks per second will be the same because the damage cooldown was the same. And that's what I believe is happening here. Alright everyone, so that is the first two features, the fact that the damage cooldown was changed to kind of make the combat a little bit more fast-paced. And next, we're going to go into some pretty controversial features, I guess is the way to say it lightly. First of all, you can hold left click to attack. So if I hold left click, I basically auto-click. So Mojang essentially implemented an auto-clicker in-game. I'm not 100% sure how fast I'm clicking here, but it does, in my opinion, make the combat a little redundant. So I'm actually against this feature, unless they want to make the auto-clicker around like 1 CPS or something like that, just for new players to use. But at this point, it's kind of OP. Like you can see when I hold down left-click, I can kill these pigs like boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Like, it's, like, actually really OP. It's basically equivalent to jitter clicking. I mean, I think jitter clicking's a little faster, not gonna lie, but it still needs to be nerfed. I believe that this particular feature should be a lot slower than it is at the moment. Alright, next up is the fact that weapons now have different reach. So you might be like, okay, well, obviously they're not going to change the sword reach. Like, that's always going to be 3 blocks, right? Nope, it's 3.5. So in this new version, when you ray trace to the entity's hitbox that you're fighting, you're actually going to be able to reach from 3.5 blocks away. Now, what does this mean for Minecraft combat? Now, first of all, you might be like, okay, well, this just means that 1.15 players are going to have a massive advantage over 1.7 players, which could be the case if they do not implement things on the server side to essentially cap reach. So I'm going to make a whole video talking about what Mojang should probably do with this feature, but essentially just know that Minecraft could potentially implement something to allow server owners to have a lot more control over the reach that the player gets. But that is if Mojang is planning for this 3.5 attack reach to be backwards compatible, because if they're not, then what's going to end up happening is the 1.15 players are going to have a massive advantage in game. But hopefully they actually implement something for it to be backwards compatible, because at the moment I can literally reach from all the way over here, which is much farther than I'm usually used to being able to reach from. So yeah, that's that. I really hope that they make this backwards compatible and they allow servers to basically knock this down to 3.0 if they're using a 1.8 spigot, which I'm sure that they'll probably at least provide an API for that or whatever they need to do in game. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. In my opinion, 3.5 attack reach, no, bump it down to 3. I prefer the original reach. I think it's the best. But who knows, maybe I'll like 3.5 more later on. Maybe it'll allow you to get more insane combos on people. But if everyone has 3.5, I'm not 100% sure what it's going to look like. But you can also see that there are other items, for example, hose, which actually give you, wait for it, 4 attack reach. So you are literally using a hacked client with this hoe. You are literally using a hacked client. Look at this. Look at this reach. I am literally hacking, guys. Ban me on Hypixel. Take away my YouTube rank. It's literally over. I am a hacker now. I've moved over to the dark side. I am hacking in Minecraft. Check it out, everyone. But yeah, so you can literally get 4 block reach with hose. Now, obviously, this is currently in beta. I don't believe that hose are going to be staying with this feature. And I believe that axes actually have default reach. So right here, you can see that I'm able to attack this pig from 3.5 blocks away. But when I switch to an axe, I can no longer attack the pig. Sword can hit, hoe can hit, axe cannot. And axes actually do more damage as they did in 1.9, so nothing really about that changed. And next up, you can only perform special attacks at 200% of your attack timer. So if you attack someone and then stop attacking, you can see that after you attack, your attack timer continues to warm up. However, you can see that little plus above the little attack timer underneath your crosshair basically says that your attack is at 200%, which allows you to do special attacks. So I don't believe that you can actually critical unless your attack timer is full. Yes, so you can see right now, when I'm punching the pigs, I'm not doing critical hits. However, when my attack timer is full, you can do critical hits. So you can see that I'm actually doing 1.5 damage, which is actually a nice feature. I do like this quite a bit. Just allow the server to modify the attack timer, and I think we should be good. But you can see that I'm actually able to do crits when the attack timer is full, but not when it's not full. So next up, the Sweeping Edge enchantment, which was added in 1.9, which allows you to attack multiple entities, actually only happens when your meter is 200%, just like criticals only happen when your meter is 200%. So if I just do that, you can see that if I try to spam it, it only attacks one entity. But if I wait for my meter to go up to 200%, I can attack multiple entities like that. And the final change here, I believe, is that Minecraft will actually give more knockback to an entity when your attack is full. So you can see right there, that's the amount of knockback I get when the attack is full. However, if I spam click, you can see that the subsequent attacks don't do as much knockback, but the first one does a lot. Spam attack, you can see, yeah, it's doing a lot less knockback than what you'd expect from the first attack. So yeah, it basically makes it so knockback is the most on the first hit and then goes down from there, which is basically what is already a thing in Minecraft 1.8 combat and I believe in 1.9 combat. So nothing really new there, except it's just using a slightly different mechanic. And finally, the actual extra reach attacks only occur when the attack cooldown is fully charged. Like for example, right there, I can get extra reach, and if I switch to a hoe, you can see I can get it from all the way over here. But if I spam my left click, you can see that my reach is just 3 blocks, which is the default reach. There's nothing different if I spam, but if I wait, you can see that I can actually get reach with a hoe from a longer distance. So now we're going to get into some of the changes which I can't really get into and demonstrate because it's going to require another player, but just know that shields have no warm-up delay, which I'm going to demonstrate actually right now. So you can see that in the past there was a delay for using them, but now you can basically just do that, and you automatically, boom, you can just spam right-click like that. And yeah, so it's just like they basically just improved the way that the shields work. You can see that there's no delay when you actually warm up the shield, which is nice, because in the past you would have to, it would like literally take like half a second for the shield to pop up on your screen, but now it's just boom, instant. It's basically more like block hitting than it was in the past, which is nice. And shields also activate when you crouch or sneak, so if you just like click left shift, you can actually use that instead of right click to activate the shield. And finally, the invulnerability timer, the hurt time timer that we discussed earlier, will actually be shorter depending on how fast your weapon is. So if you have a slow weapon like the axe, the enemy's invulnerability timer is going to be longer, like as you can see right there, than if you had a hoe, where the enemy's invulnerability timer will be faster, which is a nice mechanic. I actually like this a lot more than implementing an attack cooldown. I enjoy having the weapons change the hurt time of the enemy and not necessarily change the attack speed that you can actually swing at. I think that that's actually a really nice feature, and it makes it very balanced, so it allows players to like jitter click if they want, and if they don't want to, then they can also deal more damage they can also time their hits and deal more damage, which is nice, because it's a good compromise between 1.8 and 1.9 in my opinion. I actually like these features a lot more than anything that they've released in 1.9. However, they are still going to need work. I believe that there's going to need to be a lot of changes to these features for them to be really effective in the actual PvP scene. I don't necessarily see Hypixel updating to this unless it's really close to 1.8, or at least has an option to switch entirely to 1.8, which would be nice, but I don't know if that's going to happen at this point. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think about this combat update in the comment section down below, and I will go through the comments and look at them and probably respond to a few if people make some good points. So make sure you comment. Make sure you buy my Badlion Client 2 cape. A link to that will be in the description, or use code Tenebris at the shop if you want to buy my dances. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.